It's interesting that you have argued that investors looking at Asian emerging markets need to be mindful of the differences and discrepancy between market regions and industries. Can you expand on that a little, please?
Sure. Look, I mean, with emerging markets, something that we always say is you need to be extremely selective, especially in an environment where there's obviously this pandemic that is going on. And the fallout to the economies from the pandemic differs across countries, across economies. And the reason to that is, as I said before, the expertise that some countries have regarding dealing with COVID-19 type pandemics before. And not only that, but also the monetary and fiscal policy space that some countries have better than the others. So, from a very macro standpoint, that is why we say a very selective approach to investing in emerging markets in general. And in particular, as I said before, Asia stands out. And within Asia, several Asian countries stand out. We are seeing North Asia leading the recovery in Asia, and Southeast Asian and South Asian countries are perhaps lagging a little bit because not only because their pandemics, the way they dealt with the pandemic was not as expert as China and other North Asian countries, but also the monetary and fiscal policy space, especially the fiscal policy space, is much more limited in South Asian countries. So I would say have a very selective approach, taking several of these factors that I've just mentioned to you. And regarding obviously, there are some sectors that are going to benefit from the pandemic, such as consumer goods, such as internet stocks. And I'm saying consumer goods because if you believe that Asian economy will lead the global economic recovery in the next 6 to 12 months, that has to come from increased consumer spending, which will benefit consumer goods in general and financial sector as well. And on top of that, you add the lingering effects of the pandemic in the long term, which is positive, obviously, for internet stocks, other technology stocks, retail stocks, online retail is obviously a sector that will be very much interesting. So just take into account all these factors when you are trying to figure out where to invest.